Meet Dave of Delusions of Grandeur, actor, producer, and director of films like Tales of the Forgotten. He has come to assemble a team of freaks, geeks, and even worse, film nerds, to discuss films ranging from mainstream to downright crazy. There is Tammy car enthusiast and Dave's fiance, Dustin reptile expert and overall horror collector, Jake environmentalist and fine art film critic, and finally Brandon, a therapist with a love of film that can only be seen as insanity. Together under Dave's leadership, they are Inside Movies Galore. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another exciting film journey here on Inside Movies Galore. I am one of your hosts, but today we are starting a new month. Well, technically, not starting a new month. Well, yes and no, because we finished up last week with some catch-up work as we finished the Askew universe last week. And Brandon decided to choose a theme for this month, having it be, what did you call it?
Muppet March. It was just too perfect. It sounds too perfect to not.
And the first one that we're going to be going on about is actually part of a five film TV film series called Tales from the Muppet Land. And this, I believe, is the third movie in the series that was made for TV at a time where these were specials that were put out maybe once a year. And this one was put out in 1972, and it was directed by Jim Henson. And this one is based on a fairy tale from the Brothers Grimm. And it's called The Muppets of Bremen. The Muppet Musicians of Bremen. And I'm highly surprised that Brandon hadn't seen this one, but that's okay. It was a film that was not like one of their mainstream films. You know, it was way before the Muppet movie and the Great Muppet Caper and all that jazz. And it was considered a full-length feature. So, and it wasn't part of a TV series per se. It was something that he would put forward that had to do with fairy tales or fables or things of that nature. Because I do believe that there's one he did with Cinderella before this, and also The Frog Prince.
Yeah.
And I do believe that as far as physical media goes, this went as far as being on VHS and then later on Laserdisc. But they put it on a double feature with the Otter Jug Band Christmas feature, which was also part of this Tales from Muppet Land thing. But it was the only one that went on to an even further physical media, the DVD. So,
and the Blu-ray.
there is well, was there a Blu-ray of the Otter Jug Band thing?
There is. I own it.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's currently in print.
I did not know that. So out of the 5 made it, Otter, Jugman, Christmas was the one that kind of survived from the Tales from the Muppet Land. None of these others have ever made it beyond Laserdisc. So, but anyways, um, let's see what IMDb says about the film, and then I'll go into first impressions here. Since this was my choice to put forward and all that jazz. Let's see. Go back. I was I was looking up the what Google considers as the girliest movie out there. I say girly because there are films out there that only chicks would watch, and only chicks should watch. To be fair, or maybe that's a stereotype. But anyways, so IMDb says this: 4 mistreated farm animals seek refuge as a band of traveling musicians in this musical tale narrated by Kermit the Frog. So, going around the room, starting with you, Jake, was this the first time watch for you?
Yes, it was. Honestly, I don't think I had ever heard of this special before. If I had, only in passing. Definitely a first time watch. I probably have seen very little of the early Muppet stuff. Like, I've seen some of the big movies, but I didn't really get to watch the show when it was on. And well, obviously, I didn't see it when it was on, but like, I didn't really see it in syndication either. And yeah, like I said, maybe I knew of this special, but I couldn't swear to it. I probably would not have really gotten into it as a kid because definitely you can tell it was early on. Like you could like the puppets are not as polished as some of the later models. A couple of them are downright well, most of the human ones are pretty wild looking, but well, you know, it's it was that being said, it was interesting. It was kind of fun. I was really tired when watching this, so I probably didn't. It probably felt longer than it would have if I was more alert and more, you know, fully able to. Because it's less than an hour long. It's not a long movie, but I thought it had some fun little bits of cleverness. It definitely had some of that trademark Muppet humor that I'm used to. Kermit's appearances were kind of a nice little bridge, I guess, to something more familiar. And I did like the music. There is some really good music in this. So yeah, I'm glad I got to see it. I kind of wish that these old specials were available. It'd be nice. It'd be a nice set to pick up, I imagine.
On Laserdisc.
in a modern format.
Well, four of them are on Laserdisc. One of them never made it to.
That doesn't help me much, but
I know.
Maybe one of the days it'll be ripped to something.
Yeah, but luckily, I guess someone did us a solid and put it online. But yeah, I enjoyed it, and it was an interesting way to kick off the month.
Okay.
I wonder about the title because they never actually made it to Bremen, did they?
No, they did not. Not at least not this particular version of the tale.
Right.
I mean, there are various other musicals that have to do with the Brothers Grimm
Right.
that involve the Bremen town musicians, and
Right.
I have actually never read the Bremen town musicians to even see if they actually end up at Bremen to begin with, but the whole idea is that these four like get together on the road
Mhm.
and they form a band and they're on the road to Bremen.
Mhm.
Do they ever actually make it there? I think that they do, but I'm not. I can't swear to it.
Yeah, and I will say, I did enjoy early on that when Kermit is introducing it, he's like, the good guys are animals and the bad guys are humans, but please don't take offense at that. I found that amusing. I was like, it seems apropos, but
Okay, heading over to you, Tammy. What did you think? Was this a first time watch for you?
Yeah, it was a first time watch. It was cute. I'll give it that. I like
What?
the Muppets, but I wasn't into a lot of other Muppet stuff, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah, she didn't like Bert and Ernie later on down the road.
I can't stand Elmo.
few,
But like you had said that you had liked Fraggle Rock, and I didn't get into that at all.
Fraggle Rock.
Ding,
did see that.
ding, 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 ding,
I barely remember. I enjoyed it.
Sorry.
It was cute. It was cute. The animals themselves were cute. The human the human Muppets were a little off looking, but but yeah, it was neat. It was cute. It was. I mean, is this something to run out and watch again? Probably not. But I don't mind that I saw it.
Okay. Heading over to you, Brandon. Was this a first time watch for you?
Yes, that just leaves 1 out of the 5 that I have not seen. Because I have watched, I may even have seen Hey Cinderella. Though that was 1969. I seem to remember a little bit of it, but I couldn't have told you if I watched it or not. But it was probably broadcast on TV, rebroadcast when I was a kid. I mean, it predates me by 10 years. I know I've seen The Frog Prince, and I watched Emmett Otter for the first time around Christmas time because it's the time to watch it. And I watched The Tale of the Bunny Picnic a long time ago. I believe that was one of the ones that introduced Bean, the bunny.
Yep.
Actually. So, actually, I know I watched that as a kid. So, yeah, the only one I know that I haven't watched, or I think I haven't watched, is Hey Cinderella.
And there was also one called Tales from Muppet Land.
Yeah, and again, I'm just looking at the ones that were under the Tales from Muppet Land banner.
Yeah.
Which were those 5 specials. But yeah, that's interesting. I'll have to look more into that. It is sad that they are only on VHS and Laserdisc. But thankfully, they have actually. Oh wow, I've got that logo up there by accident. Let me take that down. All right, that's better. Oh wait, no, it's still up there. Yeah, I'm trying to not put that one up there. Let's see.
For now.
Delete that one. All right. But well, we definitely advertised for our partner, for not our partner, but one of our associates for the first part.
Hey, we'll have to let them know that we did that.
But I think that this one was an interesting take. Looking at the donkey character, I was like, I don't know if that model would work very well today. but I also don't think that there was any, especially considering the character of the donkey and all of that. I don't think that there was any meanness involved in it. It was just unfortunate look to the character. Yeah. But it was fun. It wasn't my favorite Muppet thing, but it was fun. I guess that's the whole of it. And it helps me get to all but one. Maybe I'll have to see about that, because Hey Cinderella is actually on YouTube as well. So hey, I can get all 5 of them.
Okay. And this was actually one that my mom had flung on to various VHS tapes when I was a kid. I swear, in order to keep us entertained, she taped whatever she could to keep us company. But anyways, this was one that was that I watched consistently, I think, because I liked the music and I liked the Muppets. And this one was one of the weird ones because every time I mentioned it to other people, it's like they were completely clueless about it. It's one that I like bringing up from time to time when it comes to the actual Muppets, because a lot of people think that the Muppets start with the Muppet movie. Wrong. So, it started long before, and honestly, started in commercials back in the late 50s. They were more like monsters than anything else, but and I think that that's kind of what kind of it makes Jim Henson kind of infamous, because a lot of his creatures from his creature shop are in fact caricatures of people. I mean, Guy Smiley was one that he had from time to time on the Sesame Street or whatnot. Who did Beat the Clock, which was based on an old time a thing called Beat the Clock, and there were various characters that he based on reality. You had the initial Muppets that Kermit the Frog is kind of like a staple. I feel like Kermit the Frog is like his go-to Muppet, the one that you know the most,
right?
And he's the one that narrates this. So,
well, more like introduces it, but I think that was why they, he kind of almost makes that observation. He's like, "Oh, I'm in this movie, but I'm not. It's not my movie."
Yeah, he's like there for like a couple of minutes in there, but I went ahead when you're talking about dark beginnings of Jim Henson. I know some people here are very against Nostalgia Critic, but when he did his commercial special, he covered the early Jim Henson coffee commercials that were some of his earliest works. Those commercials were dark to have on TV.
Yeah, they certainly were. I remember seeing a few of them, and they were definitely odd, almost as odd as like the first couple of shorts by our Batman and Batman Returns director, Frank and Weenie, and
you mean
Tim Burton,
Victor,
or whatever. Yeah, Tim Burton. when I think of like weird, Tim Burton came from that style of weirdness. So,
But yeah,
um,
for those of you who want to see that, it's called Curse of the Commercials, which was which covers it, and he does a really good job at covering it because he does good at covering the history of it, and it has a comical take with the Muppet coming back to kill him at the end.
so ultimately, I enjoy this for what it is, and I think it's got a few songs here that were quite memorable for me, and I thought it was cute, and I still think it's cute, even though the Muppets aren't the Muppets in here aren't exactly what is it, perfection. They're I mean, it's not until later that I think Jim Henson like perfected the craft of making his puppets a little bit more anatomical, you know. But all right, let's get into to this. So we have 4 pets and 4 owners and a group of robber barons.
Well, more
I say
like
barons
robbers.
very lightly.
They're robbers.
Robbers who would be barons.
Yeah. Well, apparently they all kind of work together with each other, and they steal things. And the first character is a donkey by the name of Leroy.
Mhm.
And Leroy is voiced by Frank Oz. And Frank Oz also voices like either one or some of the rats. And he is owned by Mordecai Sledge, which I do believe he is voiced by Francis Clanfer.
Francois Clanfer,
But so is Robert Joe, the dog.
Mhm.
And we'll get to that character eventually. But Leroy gets a lot of blame for a lot of what goes on in this robber's wrongdoings. He thinks that he's gotten some pretty cool shit out of a boxcar, and he unloads it, and it's all band equipment, and he thinks it's just crap.
Mhm.
And he blames it all on the donkey. Goes in for his gun, and you see a couple of comical moments because he's not exactly what is it?
It's not the coldest beer in the fridge.
No, he's also not the brainiest.
He's looking for his gun, and you see a flash and hear a gun go off. Oh,
there it is. And he comes out and he threatens the donkey, and the donkey like starts to go on his merry way. Well, the tuba. Evidently, there's a tuba in the thing, and he throws it up into the tree, and he blames the donkey for the tree being there, and it's total verbal abuse, you know.
Mhm.
So
Did anyone else think Mordecai looked kind of like a dime store Merle Haggard?
just a little bit.
A little bit.
But the donkey ends up grabbing most of the band equipment and escaping while the bumbling owner of his kind of falls over, and I guess the drum that went on his head, and he falls into a water trough, and he like goes on his merry way. And that's when he runs into the Kermit the Frog next. But what do you guys think about Leroy as a character so far?
Well, he's the protagonist.
Anyone else?
I have to agree with Brandon's comment that I was a little thrown by his appearance in this special.
Okay. So, are you of the same thought process that he kind of looks like he's got blackface on?
That's one way to put it. But yeah, it was probably a product of its times, and he seems. I got less of a strong impression from him early on than I did from Mordecai, who just seems like a bumbling fool. It's like I said, these are robbers playing at being barons. They're all incompetent.
Well, yeah.
But I think he one of the worst.
Yeah,
he pretty much thinks that whatever they grabbed was trash. So he thinks that his donkey has pretty much come to the end of his life. So
yeah,
I mean, does he even know how much musical instruments cost?
No,
obviously not.
And some of the others are like, we could have sold those. It's like he is clearly uncultured.
Well, some of the others actually were a little bit smarter than him.
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, it was an interesting opening. It was an interesting. Again, I love that part where he's looking for his gun. Oh, there it is.
So the next character that he comes across is Kermit the Frog, and Kermit basically gives him back his will of what he can do.
He gives him his mojo back.
Well, yeah, he basically gives him inspiration.
He's a Muppet ex machina in the movie.
And it seems like Leroy actually is a natural at the tuba.
Yep.
I mean, at first when he blows on it, you're kind of questionable, but once he starts getting a tune in, he actually doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah.
So,
all those days of playing tuba and marching band came back to him.
Well, anyways, he begins to sing a song about being a musician and on the road and whatnot, which I do believe is the first song, and I think it's also something that gets added to. I'm a traveling musician,
right?
Is what it's called, and it's reprised by the next three characters as well. So the original songs in here, which I'm sure we'll get to eventually, are "I'm a Traveling Musician," the Cock-a-Doodle Doodle Blues, "You Gotta Know Your Friends," "A Family Together," and "A Family Together" reprise. So there's actually 5 songs in here. So that's a lot of songs for this movie. But in any case, he then comes across, I believe, the farm of trying to remember the darn farmer's name. Farmer Lard Pork.
Farmer Lard Pork. I love that name for that character.
Who is voiced actually another voice for the donkey is Nick Nichols. I guess he's like he is the lead vocal of Leroy. Frank Oz kind of is an assistant with Leroy the donkey, which I think that means that he's an assistant on the puppetry of Leroy, where Nick Nichols is actually the voice, but he's also the voice of Farmer Lard Pork. Nick Nichols is, and Farmer Lard Pork is unhappy with his main rooster, who won't wake him up in the morning.
Well, the rooster likes to sleep in. What can you say?
Yeah.
Plus, with how many chicks that he's got in that barn, who can blame him?
He's a little tuckered out. Yeah.
So, Farmer Lard Pork has decided that he's going to become his lunch.
Actually, it wasn't his first, because he keeps calling himself a different name, and wasn't the first one Tuckered Rooster?
Terrified Rooster.
Was that the first one?
He when he first ran into the donkey,
Yeah.
he called himself a one terrified rooster.
Yeah, but didn't he tell all the hens that he was Tuckered Rooster?
I think so.
Yeah, that was my thought. I don't know. Yeah.
He keeps changing his name.
Yeah. Tuckered, terrified, traveling, tenderhearted, and tough. Yeah.
Well, anyways, his name is TR Rooster.
Mhm.
And TR the Rooster is voiced by Jerry Nelson. Jerry Nelson also voices Caleb Silas, which is another owner that is down the way. But TR Rooster, he is invited to by Leroy to come along with him and become a musician, and there just so happens to be a banjo sizable enough for TR to play in the back of his wagon. And so he takes it and he goes right back into the farmhouse, and he's like, "Hey, where are you going?" "Well, I gotta say goodbye to the ladies."
Right.
So he sings a song for the chicks. And then, of course, Farmer Lard Pork comes after him with an axe. And then they have to skedaddle. And I believe that the next animal they come across is the old puppy dog named Rover Joe.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's an old hound dog.
Yep. And apparently his master goes by the name of Mean Floyd. And Mean Floyd is also the voice of Jim Henson, which we all know Jim Henson is also the voice of Kermit the Frog.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Henson also was inside the body of Caleb Silas, and he was also an assistant to working the puppet of Catgut, and evidently was another voice of one of the rats.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Mean Floyd, he's kind of a petrified dude.
He's not so much mean as he is scared of everything, especially ghosts.
That was the one with the dog, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the dog isn't exactly the best guard dog at this point.
No.
It's like the dog is sleeping next to the drapes, and as he's sleeping, he's making noises and moving the drapes, and Floyd, of course, thinks it's ghosts because, you know.
And of course, he bites him in the butt, and he thinks it's the ghost.
Well, yeah.
And then he realizes it's just the dog, and he's like, "You mangy old mutt!" And then he throws him out the window, and that's how he got in the rain. And he thinks he's too old to do anything. But I guess I guess since he used to know how to do the bone, the trombone, it isn't that far off from the ham bone. So he begins to play the trombone for the traveling musicians. Well, what do you think of the story so far, guys?
It's basic.
They sound like a bunch of poor little misfits.
It has a basic fairy tale.
Just like the Brothers Grimm told.
Well, there'd be more broken bodies and dead people at that point.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you think the Brothers Grimm were a bit more grisly?
You know, the only thing I've read by them was Cinderella, and it was pretty dark. One day I'll read more, but yeah.
I've read a number of them, but yeah.
I feel bad for the characters so far. Like you said, they sound like they remind me of a bunch of little misfits, you know?
Yeah.
We're
on the island of misfits.
They haven't done anything wrong for them to be put out, you know?
Now, how they actually with dark when you talk about when they get to the cat, that's dark.
Yeah.
I mean, the cat's like, I'm just waiting to die. I'm like, God damn.
Yeah. That did go dark. Dark. I mean, they find her in the graveyard, laying on top of a grave, waiting to die. That when I first saw that, I was like, yeah, that's dark.
Of course, typical cat. She does everything she can to drive them away until they turn around and start walking, and then she's very, very much wanting them to stay and listen to her story. Doing this, yeah.
Yep. Well, her name happens to be evidently Catgut.
Which
is a weird name.
That I could see why she'd be rethinking life, but you know.
Which apparently she's been the pet of a guy by the name of Caleb Siles, and she apparently for 13 years was chasing the rats around the pantry. Well, one day she decided to befriend the rats.
Yeah.
Well, she's too tired to be able to chase them anymore.
We should probably note that Caleb looks kind of uncannily like someone decided to cross Sam the Eagle with Statler and Waldorf. It's kind of a disturbing thought, but anyway.
To me, he looked like somebody was trying to make Ebenezer Scrooge.
Well, that too, but
there was a book.
There was a
book called Silas. There was a book called Silas Marner, which was a classic. Apparently,
years ago.
And I kind of always felt like they were kind of trying to, whenever it came to Ebenezer, kind of reminisce of Silas just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But in any case, but Silas, Caleb Siles, he comes in, sees that she's being friends with the cat, and he decides to throw her out. But she evidently had a song that she sang to the rats.
Well, if you think about it, her name actually is very adjacent to music.
Hmm?
Because catgut is used to make violin strings.
Yeah.
True. And that's a song that was called "You Got to Know Your Friends."
Yeah.
And Catgut's voice was voiced by or sung by Phyllis Marshall. Just to say that. And then, of course, we know that the animals. Well, she was invited to come along and play the trumpet.
Yep.
So I thought it was kind of cute that she got up on two legs and started playing the trumpet.
Hmm.
And the thing is, they evidently got lost. They ended up in some swamp area, and they were worried that they weren't going to find a farmhouse when suddenly a light turned on nearby, and they were unsure what to expect. So each of them ended up going to the window to see what they could see. And of course,
Well,
the shades were down, so you could only see the shadows of what was going on. So according to them, they saw a family that was sitting down to dinner, carving their
Leroy
ham.
goes first, and he tells that story. And then Rover Joe goes and backs it up, and then the two smarter ones go, but they still believe the idea. They think, yeah, there's a
Meanwhile,
lot of assumption going on based on these shadowy images. There's a lot of assumption going on.
meanwhile, it's actually the four robbers who have gotten together to share their spoils. And each of them brings to the table what they went and stole. And the one guy brings a bag of cash that was stolen. Another I guess Farmer Lard Pork brought his own food.
Yeah. But he kept talking about how he needed to get back to the farm because he was starving.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But I guess there's a chest of jewels that I guess Silas had brought, and he couldn't get it open. But I like the fact that they all started talking about the things that they heard about in the swamps.
Well, first they got really upset that Mordecai didn't bring his share, and he's like, "Oh, it was just trash. I threw it away." And then they were like, he was like, "Oh, it's instruments," and they were like, "We could have sold those." And they start fighting over it. And it's like, yeah.
I did want to say that on IMDb they actually have this thing actually has a 7.4 rating out of 10.
Good times
on IMDb, which I thought that's kind of cool.
From 336 votes. Wow.
But in any case, so I guess Mr. Petrified, which is the first one who starts going on about because he automatically starts talking about swamp demons.
Mm-hmm.
And Mordecai is like, it's not those you got to worry about. It's the tree trolls.
Yeah.
And then Farmer Lard Pork, he's like, it's not those you got to worry about. It's the bush bats.
Mhm.
And I believe it's Silas who talks about the muck monsters.
But, well, yeah, I think the other one you saw is swamp snakes. I think was what one of them said. They were all very alliterative. Yeah.
But the fact that they all were like afraid of something that they had heard about in the swamps, and then when Floyd he realizes it's midnight. Then they all are like hey, we got to get back before we see any of these things. And then they all get together and they start hearing the noises outside, and they start getting scared. And um, this is like when everything goes haywire, because they want to say hello to the family, but the minute that they open the door, they get scared because they what they see, what the robbers see, are the monsters.
Well, I'll back up a little bit. After telling all these stories to each other about this lovely family that's in there sharing dinner and saying grace and dancing and all this stuff when they were anything but, the musicians come up with the brilliant idea of let's just go to every exit of the house and start playing music. You know, as you do. And
And I believe that's exactly what they do. They do, and everything that they do from there on forward
proving
scared the
the,
living but Jesus out of them.
proving the
And
importance of the phrase "know your audience."
Mordecai, he gets a pail on his head at point, and something gets slicked down his farmer suit, and then he gets a roll in the hay. So then he looks like the the muck monster,
Right.
or whatnot, to Silas, and Silas gets his head stuck in the tuba. And Farmer Lardpork, he I don't know what the fuck's going on with him. It's no matter what it all scares them out of the place. And the fact that they all realize that all this food is there whatnot, and they decide to protect it for that nice family.
Yeah, the animals are like, oh, they ran off, but the family must have run off too. Oh, but we'll keep everything safe for them.
But and that's pretty much the end of it. Where Kermit the Frog kind of ends it with, and that's exactly what they did. So, at the end of everything, what did y'all think about production? Brandon, what did you think about production overall?
Well, I mean, I think as an early work, it's not bad. I mean, even what little I had to say against it, I don't really leave it at the fault of anything negative. Articulation was good. As far as things go, I think it's a pretty early, solid start. The human-sized ones really, to tell you the truth, the human-sized ones are where all the effort went. And maybe the donkey, because they did look like they were a lot more complex. But they did their job, and it was reasonable for that.
Right. Yeah, I would agree. It looks like they had a limited budget. It looks like this was early on, and they were still learning the ropes of some of this stuff. But for what it was pretty good.
I thought
Okay, what?
I thought it was pretty cute. I mean, it was a kind of unique, a little storyline, and
Mhm.
all the animals are totally you wouldn't have thought that those four would all like be friends, type of a thing. They're all different.
Well, and you
And
got to see all the rats pre Rizzo.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I think the production was pretty good. I mean, the the people Muppets, yeah, were a lot. It seemed like there was a little bit more to them and everything, as far as how big they were, how much they moved, how much they were able to move and everything. You know, they kind of almost in a way seemed more lifelike than the animals. Um, but yeah, I thought it was cute. It was fun. And it was, you know,
And looking back at this, I guess I do kind of see your guys' point looking at Leroy. I don't think exactly at the time they were thinking of trying to blackface any donkey or anything like that. But it's just the way he looks is kind of like questionable, just a little bit in this day and age, especially when we're fault finders. When we're actually looking at at things. Is something woke or isn't it? Um, but I believe this was done at a time when nobody thought anything was racist when they did things.
Well, depending. It's like, for instance, back at that time, they still had Sambo's as the restaurant, which already, even at that time, the depictions of the character were going away, because it was that one was literally unapologetically a racist depiction of a person. So they were, I guess, woke enough for that back then to say that was too much.
If anything, given that this was Jim Henson, I'd give the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
It may have been an attempt at inclusion that didn't age as well as we might have hoped, because that sometimes happens too.
Sadly, we can't ask him, so I guess we.
Yeah.
I would just like to think of that it wasn't really intentionally
Right.
mean-spirited.
Right.
Not like some of the other things that you might have seen looking like that at the time.
Right.
Which would definitely have been mean-spirited at the time.
And I will say, as far as character designs, Catgut is just ugly. That was just not a pretty puppet at all. But
no,
Catgut was supposed to be like at the end of her age,
Yeah.
But she looks so
stringy and something that you would have pulled out of the garbage.
No, I can see Muppet Show definitely in these characters.
Yeah.
Something
Muppet Show
Oscar
didn't
the
debut
Grouch would have
until-
pulled out from his trash can.
I want to say the Muppet Show wasn't until 1979.
Late 70s. Yeah.
Because
And the
nothing
chicken
Muppet
looks
Show.
like something that would have been thrown at Fozzie Bear at one of his bad jokes.
Right.
or something that the cook would have rejected. The certificate.
I don't know. Would he have rejected it? I don't.
Well, the chickens looked like the chickens. They were plump and everything looked chickens.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen those chickens before in a Christmas in Muppet Christmas Carol.
The hens look just about exactly like I expected the hens to look.
Right, but the rooster looked like real scraggly.
Yeah.
And again, he's also trying to make them look kind of old and worn out.
Right.
I mean, because all these animals have gotten to the end of their line.
And if I remember correctly, the Bremen Town musicians were like old rundown people.
Okay.
They were at the end of their rope.
Okay.
So that aspect of it was actually in fact true. So there I can actually kind of get behind how scraggly everyone kind of looks.
Right.
You know, although Cat Gut kind of looked like she was stuck in a baby's diaper and pulled right back out. So, um, but anyways, that being said, I enjoyed this production. I wouldn't have not enjoyed it if I hadn't have brought it up because it is one that needs to be talked about more often and shared and kept in rotation because it's a part of puppet history to me. So other than that I think it's definitely a period piece, at least in time. With, I mean, this was aired in 1972, so
Yep,
um,
4 years before
quite a
the
little
Muppet
bit
Show,
ago.
because Muppet Show was 1976. I was thinking wrong.
Yep.
So 4 years prior. So he had time to definitely refine. I mean, Kermit was looking more like Kermit there. I mean, he looked a lot more like Kermit than he did when Kermit was a lizard, which is how he started off on the early Muppet stuff. Gosh, what was the name of that show? If anybody actually wants to see an amazing Jim Henson documentary, there is a gosh, what was that? There was a YouTube channel that did one on Jim Henson. Gosh,
There was a recent one that we just recently watched about Jim Henson, the mind of a creator, or something like that.
It's a well, Defunct Land. Defunct Land did this amazing in-depth coverage of Jim Henson from the beginnings to his death, and I would recommend anybody who is a Muppet fan to watch that. I think it's probably one of the best comprehensive looks at the man I've ever seen.
Okay.
Which is too bad the channel doesn't do much anything anymore, but they did do that. So hey, that's one of those that I'd even be willing to say I'm going to take this down and make it into one big documentary. Yeah.
But in any case, did anyone have anything else to add about production? Okay. Heading into music. I know we sort of kind of discussed it earlier, but is there anything else that we might have wanted to add to the music category?
I mean, the music was Bremen. It was it did its job, and it was fun. I mean, it made it lively.
Yeah, it was quite good. It was let's see here. I think it was we had Jack Elliott on the main music. And then I think didn't Jerry Jewell write most of the lyrics, I think?
Yeah, it looks like he did.
Yeah. And yeah, like I said, I enjoyed the songs, and just the parts where they're just playing music were pretty solid. They did a good job with that.
Oh yeah. I thought that was pretty cool. Now let's go into favorite scenes and our favorite characters. Let's start with you, Brandon.
Favorite character, maybe the rooster. I mean, he was fun, and I did like the scene where he's sitting there, like, man, I slept in again. Oh well. I just thought it was I thought it was funnier as far as the scenes that were funny. I did enjoy that.
Okay. What about you, Tammy.
Come on. Okay. I guess the kitty cat's my favorite. But I like when she's doing the song with the rats.
Yeah, when the rats come out of the out from behind everywhere, I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But anyways, is that pretty much it then?
Yeah.
Okay. How about you, Jake? Favorite character or characters and our favorite scene?
Even though it goes against my usual inclination, I think the rooster probably will be my favorite. He was a pretty good character. Favorite scene? I do like, and I'm seeing actually the quote here that I mentioned before, but I really enjoyed. You may have noticed that the heroes in this story are all animals, and the villains are all people. I hope none of you take that personally. You know, I did enjoy that, and I love the guy looking for his gun, and the gun goes off. Oh, there it is. You know, and I guess I'll go with those. TR's Big Escape was also pretty fun. I guess I'll go with those. There were a few fun moments, but I'll probably go with those moments.
Okay. I guess as far as characters go, it's a toss-up. It's between Rooster and Catgut. But my favorite scene is when all four of the robbers are like going back and forth between all the different like swamp creatures that they're all scared about, and they all keep getting themselves frightened over the darn shit. That's my favorite scene. The fact that they can be their own fear, you know, create their own fear out of nothing, and then on the other flip side of things, they're all thought of to be this like loving family.
Yes, there was such a postcard perfect family.
Hey, it's a Hallmark moment.
Exactly.
But in any case, at the end of everything, hopefully you ladies and gentlemen have enjoyed our discussion on this particular feature. It is one of the 5 that they did in Tales from Muppetland, and I hope to eventually cover the rest of them here on this channel sometime down the road.
One day.
But to be fair, we'll be covering a fair majority of the Muppets here this month, so that's at least exciting. But in any case, like, share, and subscribe. If you have not seen the movie, go out and see it. Right now, it's only on YouTube, or if you have it on Laserdisc, I'm sure it's out there for you to watch on that. But come back, listen to our discussion, let us know whether we were great, good, fair, to Midland, whatever, and I'm sure we'll get back to you. But next week, I do believe that we are going to be covering the Muppet movie, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
correct.
Tammy going to bring us the Muppet movie to start us off with the one of the mainline Muppet films. That's pretty impressive.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. So, look forward to having you. Look forward to having you guys all back here for another exciting adventure here. And at the end of everything, everyone say good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Inside movies galore, just makes you just want more. We've had all in the world of media to explore. Horror, anime, or Curious George. Our love last night of our week.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.